Hi, it's Lori from Coast to Coast Craft Girls coming to you from the West Coast. Today I wanted to share a card that I saw a Christmas card that Jennifer McGuire did that was very similar to this, and I decided to recreate it with more of a kind of a wedding theme because I needed a wedding card. And so it's actually a vellum card, and when you open it, there's like a little mini card inside that you can open to write your message in. So the card itself is vellum, but and it's stenciled. It's a layering stencil, and then you open it up, and you've got this little mini card inside where you can write your message. Anyway, let me show you how to do it. Okay, so let's get started. I started with these Rambling Roses stencil, and we're gonna. Oh, I guess I should start with. So this is a piece. It's an 8.5 by 11 sheet of vellum that I scored in half and then cut in half. So it's 4.25 by 5.5 with a top fold. And I'm going to put my first stencil on. I'm just going to line it up where I want it. Somewhere about there, I think is good. And then I'm going to use my opaque pigment inks. And I'm going to use Lemon Tonic for the flowers and Grasshopper for the base layer of the leaves. So let's start with my Lemon Tonic. And this is vellum, so we're just going to kind of dab it in. You can't, you just dab it on there, which is why I'm using the opaque pigments, because I want it to get good coverage. You could use, honestly, you could use like your alcohol markers through a stencil as well, or probably the shimmer inks maybe. Any kind of an opaque ink, but you want it to show up on the vellum, so just get good coverage all the way through. I'm just holding the stencil down. You could tape it down if you want, but it's pretty easy to line up. Like right there, I just moved it, but it's pretty easy to line back up, so not too worried about it. And do the flowers on the top. And it's going off the edge, and I don't care. I kind of like the look of that, where it's off the edge. And I'm using the finger daubers. It takes longer, but it gives you a little more control, so I can keep the yellow on the flowers and not on the leaves. Although if you get yellow into the leaves, it's not really a problem, because I'm going to put green over it anyway. But okay, that's all the Lemon Tonic. Get my Grasshopper. And I'm going to try and keep that Grasshopper out of the flowers. And just in the leaves. So just kind of use the edge of that finger dauber to get into those smaller pieces where it's close to the flower. You could use a piece of paper to mask it off if you wanted. I'm just lazy, so I don't want to do that. And I think that's all the green. Okay. Now we're going to take the stencil off, set it to the side so I can wash it. Okay, now you should let this dry or dry it. I'm kind of in a hurry, so I'm going to just carefully place my other stencil over the top and try not to smear it. Okay, looks pretty close. And then I'm going to use Pine Tree, which is the darker green on the leaves. Okay, that's pretty good. And then I'm going to use Honey Pot for the highlights in the roses. We're just going to go in and dab. And you really should dry this or let it sit overnight so that it doesn't smear. I hope this works. Okay, I think I got it all. We're going to really carefully pick that up. Oh yeah, that worked. Now let me clean up my mess before I go on. Now for the next part, you definitely need to let it dry. So it looks like that, which I think it looks really pretty. I love that yellow. The first one I did in pink, and I love the yellow. I like the yellow a lot better. But I need to set that aside because I can't do anything with it till it dries. Okay, so this is dry. I think so. All right, so the next step is you're going to take some nesting dies, and you can use a rectangle or any kind of shaped die, but I liked this one. I personally like these rectangle dies. And you're going to put it together like that, and you're going to cut a piece of, I cut Gold Mary, but whatever card you want, and you're kind of cut two of them because you want a frame. Now I cut it in white twice and in the gold Matte Mary once, and then glued them together so that this is fairly rigid. And you're going to do that, and then you're going to take, these are the letters from the subscription box, the Eclipse subscription box, and I just cut LOVE, and I did the same thing, 2 times in white and once in the gold, and glued them together so they're fairly stiff because you want them fairly rigid. And then you're going to cut just the larger die, the outer die, 2 times. So you got 2 of those. And then you're going to cut a little and make the little mini card that goes on the inside. And to do that, you take a piece of white cardstock and you fold it at the edge, and then you're going to put your largest of the nesting dies over the fold. So see, the cut line is not on the fold, and you're going to cut it, and you're just going to cut it with it over the fold like that. And when you take it out, it's cut and it's going to be kind of compressed together, but it makes a shaped card. And so you want that little miniature shaped card. Now, I'm going to take the piece, this piece is going to go on the front of that. Just so that that top piece doesn't look like it's cut off, because see, you're missing a little bit. And I'm going to take that, and I'm going to do, because I don't want it just super plain, but I don't want to put anything too much on there because it's going to show through the vellum. So I found this embossing folder, and it's a 3D embossing folder, and it's just got roses kind of in the corners. And I don't want, obviously, I can't use the whole thing, but I just want the roses. So I'm going to position my little top piece just so I get the roses right in the middle of there. I'm going to put it at a little bit of an angle, just like that. Run that through. And you can see now I've got a really nice little rose on there. And I just want it to show up a little bit. So I'm going to take my straw bale water reactive, and I'm just going to give it a little bit of a touch. And I don't want too much, but I just want enough so that that embossing stands out a little bit more. And that's perfect. Okay, now we're going to take our, let me get the dies out of the way. So we've got our little mini card. We've got our embossed piece, and I'm going to glue that onto there. And I want it that way up. And just line it up across the bottom. Okay, so there's our little mini card, and then you can write or stamp a message in there. Now we're going to take our vellum that's all inked up, and it's dry now. It's been, yeah, it's just a tad tacky, but I'm going to try and be careful. It's been sitting for a couple of hours, so, and we're going to glue our little mini card right on the inside of the back. So, and I'm going to use a tape pen and some glue. Okay. And you just want to position it sort of in the middle. So I'm going to use my glass mat because you can see through. So just get it straight and about even. Looks pretty good. Just press that down. Now when you close that, you can kind of see through, but because it's fairly subtle, doesn't matter. Now you're going to glue your frame on the vellum on the outside, right in line with your little mini card. Okay. Okay. And you can see through, so it's exactly the same size because it was your nesting dies. So you know it's going to line up perfectly. And just press it on there. And then you're going to position your love right across the middle. And if you don't, like, I know mine is going to fit, just fit it. I've lined it up, and there's just barely enough room for these letters to get in there. If you don't know if they fit, then I would start with the ones in the middle so that you get it even. Or do the L and then the E and then come back and kind of do them. But I know mine barely fit. They fit in there if you put them like right next to each other. So There's my O. V. E. Okay, now we're almost done. So there's my card. Opens up to the inside, my little mini card, and you can write your message in there. Now, I don't like the fact that you can see the glue and stuff on the back. So that's what that other one is for. And I'm going to just kind of glue it right over the top on the back. And that kind of hides, because it's vellum and you can see through, and I just don't like that. And then you can also use this to write an additional message, or like if you want to put your, you know, made by stamp on there, or whatever you want to do. Or just, you know, leave it blank, or you could use you could stamp a design on it if you wanted, or do the embossing again or something. But I just wanted to hide those workings. So you just do that, and it just makes it look cleaner, and it doesn't show from the front. And that's it. And we're all done. It's actually pretty easy to make. But hope you like that.